It seems America has become obsessed with the Crummy. A Crummy, for those of you who don't know, is a crew truck, a vehicle used to carry a work crew and all their gear, be it loggers or farmers or ranchers or sailors or construction workers or whatever. Not just a crew cab pickup, but any large four-door truck, or quite often, a van. Not a new concept. Although people tend to think of the fledgling automobile industry as being luxury items for the well-to-do, it was the commercial environment that kept most companies alive, and what pushed the development before the passenger car was even a thing. The work vehicle dates back to the very beginning, to the very first self-propelled vehicles, evolving into short railways designed to complete a specific task, with long-range lines soon to follow for commercial delivery uses, long before they were hauling passengers. And in many ways, that is still where the railroad industry is focused today. Then came highway locomotives, self-propelled traction-drive work machines, better known as tractors. And although most automobile companies got their start with a simple two-seat passenger carriage, many of the earliest successful companies offered cargo hauling high-wheelers, vehicles that were more functional, particularly in rural areas with farms and ranches, or where there was work to be done. And even before the First World War, the automobile was seeing military applications. The Great Depression saw many brands expanding into truck markets, as the commercial side of the market was seeing more and heavier applications. But the light truck, that was still based on a passenger car at the time, was developing a market of its own, from the Rio, or REO, Speedwagon to the original Suburban. The Second World War would alter the market dramatically, with more creative uses, and adding four-wheel drive into the mix, creating new market segments, thanks to vehicles such as the Jeep and the Power Wagon. And post-war reconstruction would create a boom in markets for work vehicles. The post-war light trucks would start to become quite distinct from their passenger car counterparts, providing more utility and becoming practically a requirement in the rural environment, as well as seeing growing use of the delivery or panel van, not just for big commercial applications, but for the small business or craftsman. Expansion that was being seen around the world, with even the motorcycle being put to work. And the late 1950s would see the introduction of the wide bed pickup, allowing for even more cargo space, initially as a special feature, often with a distinct name, but within a few short years, it was the expectation. Soon, the light cabover was showing up everywhere, from Ford's Falcon Econoline to Chevrolet's Corvair Greenbrier to the Dodge A-Series. Even Jeep got into it with the forward control, and all were offered in pickup and van. And again, not just in the US, but all around Europe, with dozens of tiny ones popping up in Japan. As the early 1960s progressed, four-wheel drive became a more common and popular option. And this was also when the Crummy was really coming into its own, partially with big wagons such as the Jeep Wagoneer and the International Harvester Travelall, but also with the appearance of the crew cab pickup, vehicles that were perfect for getting a team to a work site, with everything they needed to get the job done. But the late 60s and early 70s would see a shift in the market, with the popularity of the sport utility vehicle, smaller two-door truck-based wagons that were marketed to be used for both work and play, off-roading as sport, as opposed to getting to work in that hard-to-access location. Not the only shift in the market at the time. There was also the rise of van culture. This was not as simple as an increase in the popularity of vans, but a customization trend that took things to whole new levels. The boxy van shape made it perfect for exploring new levels of creativity, inside and out. If the slab sides were good for a company to use as a billboard, why not as a rolling canvas to display your art? The open interior could certainly haul plumbing supplies or just about anything else you needed, but it could also become a rolling bedroom with a waterbed, disco ball, and lava lamps. Companies even sprung up to start the process for you, with conversion vans being simple campers, a trend that would find its way to Europe to a somewhat lesser degree, and later to Japan, where things would be taken to whole new extremes. Another growing trend would be the compact pickup, or perhaps more accurately, the mini truck. Small imported pickups that were cheap to purchase and operate, and would grab a chunk of the youth market. In fact, with downsizing and reducing the functionality of the standard family car, the full-size pickup would start to gain popularity as well, no longer being a niche market. By the early 1980s, full-size pickups were some of the best-selling vehicles in the country, followed by the rise of the minivan, vans typically based on the ever-popular compact truck, which were also increasingly being offered as an SUV, and soon to be offered as four-door wagons, or a compact Crummy, if you will, advertised as a vehicle to get the family and gear to that secluded vacation spot. By the turn of the millennium, the family truck was well on its way to replace the family car, as crew cab pickups were replacing regular cabs, and the SUV or truck-based market was exploding. Of course, in spite of the rugged working man reputation, the vehicles themselves were growing more car-like, less likely to be filled with straps and chains, muddy wellies, greasy tools, or gas and oil containers, and increasingly more likely to carry groceries and children's playthings. Also unlikely to see any off-roading more severe than a gravel road, or more likely, simple winter weather. For more than a decade now, the Crummy-type vehicle, or four-door truck, has been the best-selling segment in America, with their cheaper two-door counterparts having all but disappeared from the market, as has the affordable compact truck, being replaced by increasingly expensive crossovers. Tall cars pretending to be rugged vehicles people want the image of, without the actual capabilities. Where the truck market was traditionally about work capability, cargo capacity, towing capacity, durability, an easy-to-clean interior, and so on, manly vehicles for people that actually worked for a living. Now they advertise things like the fact that the liftgate will open for you with the wave of your foot, and how it pays attention if you're not, to better keep you on the road, making them trucks that are not that great as work vehicles, but have the reduced road-going capabilities of one. So not that great as cars either. But at least they are roomy, and they have the features that people want. Perhaps they are not truly Crummies then, or perhaps they are, and just used for a different sort of crew. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment below, and like and subscribe.